Welcome back to Real Role Models, a space where I chat with motivating and inspiring people from all over the world who have done incredible things not only in their lives, but the lives of other people. Today, I'm joined by an ambitious and inspiring young lady who founded a startup company called BluePhin, which basically aims for more ocean and less plastic. Please welcome, all the way from Dubai, Simran.
I'm happy to be here. Thank you for doing everything you're doing with your channel. It's absolutely fantastic to see someone highlight people like this.
Oh, thank you so much for your support and sweet words. It means a lot. And thank you for being here. First of all, can you just tell us a little bit more about Bluefin and how it works?
So Bluefin is a robot that collects waste and water. We can run it autonomously entirely or simply control it through a telemetry remote. So it's fairly easy to run it. The way that we run it autonomously is that we accompany it with a software that we think of it like an app. Think of like Google Maps for Bluefin. So once we've put in 2 locations, we've created a route for Bluefin to follow, and then Bluefin can just sort of keep going in that circle, in that parameter, until it's collected all the waste or it's prompted to do otherwise.
Great, that's amazing. And it's definitely great to see it happening in the Middle East. But why Dubai? Can you explain a little bit more? Why did you choose this region?
I mean, I practically grew up in this region, right? After India, I was in Saudi, then I was in Kuwait, and then after Kuwait, I'm now here in the UAE, and I was studying in the American University of Sharjah when I met my co-founders, and we decided to start this.
Nice. And what does environmental awareness or protection, or exactly what Bluefin now is promoting, what does it mean to you?
It means everything. I mean, I think it. So let me go back to just how we all started and how everything happened. Yeah. I come from a finance background. I have no background in environmental science. I have no background in engineering or robotics or mechanical anything. It was purely just understanding what was going on with climate change, how it had gone so bad, and then sort of saying that, okay, where can we make the most impact? We knew that we wanted to do something about it. We didn't know how we wanted to do something about it. And that's where some of the chunk of our time went into saying that, okay, my founding team, they have been paramount in what we've been able to do. I was a student. I had absolutely no expertise. I just knew that I wanted to do something about it. Yeah. And I was lucky to find the people who shared that same sentiment and worked with me on it.
Teamwork makes the dream work. Is that the saying? And obviously, this is something that would be benefited all around the world, particularly, as you said, you come from India originally.
Yeah.
So in these developing countries, do you have any long-term goals or a future plan of where you'd like to see Bluefin potentially take off?
I very much think that the problem is big enough for more players to come in. I don't want to sit here and say that, oh, I want to be in every single river and Bluefin's going to just clean up everything. If we can inspire someone else to do something like us, we're more than happy to work with them. We're more than happy to collaborate. The more people or the more organizations and everything that's going to jump in to solve the problem, the more impact we'll have and the quicker we can combat ocean pollution. Yeah. And the way that Bluefin significantly focuses on it is by not letting more pollution go out there in the first place. And like you mentioned, a lot of the developing countries have a significantly larger problem when it comes to this, and that was sort of key in the way that we designed Bluefin, because it made us focus on the affordability aspect of the robot and the software and everything that went that goes into our solution.
So just to understand the robot a little bit more, yeah. Is it something that is commercially available now for companies or governments or individuals to buy, or is it still in the experimentation phase?
So we're at, just to use some lingo, we are in this phase that we call MVP, which is our minimal viable product. So this was the minimal that we worked on and what we can do, with our robot that can deliver value. And so where we're sort of going with this is that we've come to realize, working with people from across the world, is water is different everywhere and the type of waste that they're combating is different everywhere. And so we can't really have a one fit all kind of solution. right? We have to tackle it in a way that our impact is most with the solution wherever it may go. And so we're having pilot programs. So the more data and the more we can understand about different water bodies and different commercial needs, the better we can tailor our solution to understand, do we make like a one fit all? Do we make like a modular version of Bluefin that can easily be, amended for whatever the requirement is? And so that's sort of the phase that we're in right now.
And if somebody wanted to support Bluefin, would they be able to do that?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I think the best way to support us would be to, either, come and join us and help us, do everything that we're doing, or to simply connect us to like a local organization that we can work with so we can get access to that data. It's very critical for us. The more data we have, the better we can perform.
And also just going back to environmental awareness and protection, what are some things that you wish that people living in Dubai, or what can they instill in their daily lives or their culture to be more environmentally aware?
I would say that we have a pretty decent amount of awareness here. There's not a lot of people, well, I take that back. There is quite a few amount of people that will, toss a can like while walking down maybe Dubai Canal, or leave their trash on the beach. We know from so much research that's already been done that cigarette butts have been a significant, problem in our, or contributed significantly to the ocean pollution that we've seen. And so I would just say, be a little bit more mindful about it. I'm not asking you to become like recycling, like king or queen, and completely sort your waste and, take organic waste and start composting it or anything. Just make sure that it gets into the trash. But that's sort of, that's half the problem, because the other problem is that even if we are being responsible and we do take our plastic bottle or whatever and take it to the trash, then our landfills are significantly growing. And another way that pollution is ending up in our, in our oceans is just by it getting carried off those landfills.
Yeah.
Before the China ban in 2018, for, a lot of countries would export their waste. And so either way, they're going on really big ships and they're getting dropped off, or there's no management of it. So if you really want to do something and you're just like, a regular person, then just be sort of mindful about what you're buying and how you're using it, because the more sustainable and the more lifelong our products can get, not only the more value do they deliver, but the less, environmental impact they have, on our oceans and just on our ecological system.
Yeah, 100%. And I absolutely love what you're doing, especially in the region, because I feel like in Dubai, as you said, people may be environmentally aware, but I feel like there's a lack of governmental regulation. And so I feel like, especially between Europe and the Middle East, there's just this culturally different approach when it comes to how the environment is being dealt with, or how it's viewed, or just how people are living and the difference in lifestyles and sustainability. So I love how Bluefin really, really does try to incorporate this environmental awareness in another way.
On that point, though, I will say that we've received tremendous support from the Ministry of Climate Change here, and having a relatively close relationship with them, and all the times that we've come across them, they are, at least what I know of, that they're making good efforts. They're looking at the research, and this was brought up. There was an event by Unilever. I think this was early this year or late last year. It's amazing to see a lot of students, because the trend is definitely changing, right? A lot more youth is getting educated about what's going on, and a lot of the youth is pushing in schools for that reform, saying, okay, you know what, we don't want plastic bottles, we don't want all this. AUS has banned plastic on its campus, so you can, if you're, let's say, going to the grocery store, you have to, take your own bag, or you're going to pay extra for, like a paper bag. So these initiatives are coming up. The trend is definitely there. I think what the ministry is doing is sort of, learning from what's going on outside, is implementing a plastic ban, even, going to, make that difference. And sustain it, from a lifestyle perspective, that change is there. I mean, especially in Dubai, being very, just to talk a little bit about the demographic, because majority of the, region is expats. And a lot of these expats are very mindful already, or already have a culture of sustainability. And I think the counteract to this is, okay, just convenience. There's a lot of times that, you know, even if you are mindful and know like what's going on or the impact of what you're buying, there are moments that you will probably end up buying a plastic bottle because, let's face it, it is convenient.
Yeah.
And it is easy to buy, and it's easy to take, and it's cheap, and once you're done with it, you throw it, right? And that's sort of where the culture had also changed, because if we go back a little bit, sustainability was very much incorporated everywhere, right? You know, you would get Coke in those glass bottles instead of in plastic bottles or in cans. And so it's, you know, I think it's just shifting and sort of going back, or you know, even the idea of just making sustainability convenient again. And I think that's where startups and innovation is very, very important, especially in this industry, so that we can find a more convenient way to say, okay, you know what, I understand that this is like, it's convenient for you to go to Starbucks and get your coffee in that cup and have a plastic lid on it, but you know, what if I was to do the exact same thing for you and just make it a little bit more environmentally friendly? Yeah. And that's sort of the ideology that we also have at Bluefin, right? Because ultimately, you know, we're a social enterprise. And in order to really push for that impact, apart from all the good things that we want to do, we need to make money. We need to have a sense of profitability, because if we don't have the profitability, we will not be able to reinvest and we will not be able to grow. And ultimately, you know, growing Bluefin is growing our impact. So the more we can sort of build, I think, this ideology, and the more we can, you know, start innovating on like a materials front, I'm sure we can do a lot better. And we can do it, you know, without saying that, okay, I need to discomfort you to do that.
Yeah. As you started talking more about the business side of Bluefin, as a young entrepreneur, can you describe or explain the process of setting up Bluefin and just some struggles that you went through, or any tips and tricks that you have for people who are also looking to set up something of their own, whether it's environmental or not?
Right. So I was very lucky. I go to a campus where we have an entrepreneurship center on campus. And it was fantastic to have them there, because initially, like when they first started, I was sort of just shameless and walked in and said, okay, I have an idea. What do I do with it? Or how do I go about it? And so, you know, that sort of helped me just understand how things were happening here, what kind of, you know, licensing needs to be done, how like that licensing gives me access to what. And so you have like free zone, you know, registered companies, you have mainland registered companies, just a more like understanding about all of that. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, I would say if you don't know it, Google it. And if Google still doesn't help you, then just sort of ask someone that knows, you know, go up on your LinkedIn, find someone you think who can help you, and drop them a message. And more often than not, we find answers just by asking a question. So don't be afraid to just ask that question.
Yeah, you don't get what you don't ask for.
Right.
And if there was a piece of advice that you'd like to share with us, or a key message?
To all the entrepreneurs, just start. I'm not going to say that it's easy, and I'm not going to say that, you know, there's not problems that come up. I had to balance university and building the startup, and it was like, if anything, after everything, I learned a little bit more time management than I did earlier. And it was probably the best experience of my life. And all I had to do was take that first step and, you know, not overthink it and say that, okay, I'm going to graduate university and then I'm going to do something about it, right? The time is now. Even if it's, you know, you spending some time, like 5 minutes on research every day, just start. And after that, things sort of like fall into place. Yeah. And that's it, you know, just take that first step and keep moving forward. Yeah, I mean, if anyone just wants to reach out, they're more than welcome to. Yeah.
Love that. Thank you so much. Thank you for your time and for explaining what Bluefin is and what they're doing. And I wish you all the best of luck.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here.
Thank you for watching. I really hope that you enjoyed the video as much as I did making it. If you did, please like and subscribe. And if you know somebody who's inspirational and motivational in your life, or if you are that somebody and would like to share your story, please do reach out to me. Otherwise, keep on spreading the love and spread a smile a day.